Hello and welcome. I am so glad you're here. I'm Beth, a creator-based coach with CMH Coaching for Life. I'm here today to help you and those you love create a life you feel grounded and at home in. Think of a life where you feel peace, love for those around you, and in a flow with just enough challenge to keep you happy and creating something wonderful. Sounds like magic, but it's not. You can create that life every single day. You can have a life full of love, excitement, hope, and creation. Our mission at CMH Coaching is to flood the earth with light through compassion, mindfulness, and hope. And I'm going to ask a favor of you. If you like what you see and hear today, think of someone you know that would enjoy and benefit from this message. Our mission is to flood the world with compassion, mindfulness, and hope. Share this with them. But for now, this is time just for you. So settle into whatever you're doing and enjoy this time with the girls, where we create that one awesome, amazing, perfect life every one of us is seeking.
You gotta watch your thinking. Watch your thinking. Watch your thinking.
Welcome to the Creator-Based Life, our weekly podcast for CMH Coaching. We are excited to have you here. It has been a big week. It's been lots of excitement already, and it's only Monday. So today we are going to be talking about persistence, another one of those P's that we've been discussing. Patience, you remember last week? Persistence this week. 3 more really, really good P's to come. But the idea with persistence is you're not really a mess. You know, a lot of us wake up Monday morning and think, I'm such a mess. But you're not a mess. You're brave for trying. You're up and you're doing and you're learning this incredible opportunity of being persistent. So I'm here with Jacine Bonnet today. Jacine is a business coach. She's a creator-based coach. She's a fast walker. And Jen is a Can Grow Anything gardener and a hypnotherapist and also a creator-based coach. And you know me, I'm Beth Bitsain-Brooks, the creator of the Creator-Based Way. So let's talk about all of these great opportunities that we've had in life to be persistent, and why would persistence be one of the 5 P's? Because to me, that just seemed a little bit weird. I mean, I liked playfulness and I liked presence and I didn't like patience, but I could see its purpose. But why persistence? What do you think, Jen? Why did he put persistence in there?
Because I think persistence is a superpower, really.
Oh, do tell.
I really think persistence, because if somebody is a persistent person in a good way, they, because you can have those that are just like, oh my gosh, they have, I think, a tenacity and a power and a view of the end goal that they're going to do it. And it doesn't matter what gets in their way, they're going to do it. But yet I think in what what he has is persistence, but within like a soft way. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. It's softer around the edges.
Softer around the edges. I think persistence, and I saw this as a like a quote or something at some point, and a picture, and it was this woman crossing a stream on rocks.
Oh yeah,
and balancing like this, and it says, this reminded me of, it said persistence, and it says something like obstacles can either become stumbling blocks or stepping stones.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, a persistent person sees them as stepping stones.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And when things are really hard, is willing to look for a stepping stone.
Yeah.
You know, instead of just to leave the window open to say, well, maybe it's not really a block.
Yeah. And I really
could be.
Yeah. And I really believe a persistent person does slip and stumble into the river but gets back, Yeah,
you keep trying.
Trying. Yeah. I think to me it's a superpower. Somebody who's
I think about it in direct relationship to our podcast. because we have 130, I think, podcasts that we've recorded now. Like 2
Wow.
full years that we've come over weekly and recorded and put them out for the world, whether we wanted to or not. We showed up every week, usually on Monday. And if it wasn't on Monday, it was an occasional Wednesday, and talked about something, And to me, that persistence is born of perspective and purpose, because we do have a purpose as creator-based coaches, coaching to bring that light that the creator-based way brings to the world, the hope, that comes from mindfulness and compassion, to be able to share something to help us keep going when things are rough. And that is absolute persistence. Jacine, I know you are like this model of persistence in your life history.
Bunny, Energizer Bunny.
Yes, she's our Energizer Bunny. We talk about her being the Energizer Bunny all the time. So you want to share with us a little bit about persistence in your life?
Yeah, I was thinking, it's twofold. And I was trying to decide, is it mentally and spiritually first and then physical? Or because it has both a physicality for me as well as a mental part, right? For persistence. And to me it goes hand in hand. And I thought about rock climbing but I have like the purpose of it. What's the purpose? For me, it's to get to that top of that cliff and to be able to stand there and then see like the vastness that's before me, and to feel that I think when we're persistent and we reach like an end goal, or get to a stopping place and we're able to look out and see what we've accomplished, it really is such for me anyway, it's such a joyful feeling. And it's a good, like, I'm so proud of myself for continuing, even though I wanted to stop. And persistence to me doesn't mean that you don't take a break and take a rest. I also thought of like my pioneer heritage and
Yes.
my ancestors, like
That song Pioneer Children sang as they walked and walked and walked and walked and walked. Yeah. That's
yeah,
persistence, right? Yeah.
that's persistence.
They had their purpose. They had their goal. They knew what they were going to do.
Yeah, yeah.
I have a story to share about our family. It just came to me while we were sitting here talking. We, Troy and I both grew up in small families. I had 2 siblings that lived with me growing up, and he had 1 sibling that lived with him growing up. And then he had a brother born when he was 17. And so when we got married, we were ready to model maybe 1 child, maybe none. We were ready to go be professionals. And that didn't happen. We had our daughter and we just fell in love, and we wanted to have another son or another child. And so when we got to Texas, we had Christopher, which was great. We were just in love. And then there's not quite 2 years between Hope and Christopher. There's just barely a year and a half between Christopher and Lauren. And then there's not quite 2 years between Lauren and Adam. And so we've got these 4 little kids. My oldest was 5 turning 6 when I had my 4th. And I just sat down. I remember sitting down and thinking, I have made a horrendous mistake in my life.
What am I doing?
I don't know how to parent. I don't know anybody that has big families. What have I done? And I was just barely, I think, 22, because I had my 3rd when I was 21. It's me, y'all. I mean, I get going on something and I just go, And here we are with 4 kids, and we decided that's good. We're not doing any more kids. Now, anybody that knows me know that we really have 9 children. And so there's a lot to the story of persistence here. So we had this super sacred experience. I won't share it with you, but just know that it was life-changing, like eternally life-changing experience that let us know that we had a daughter to be born. And my pregnancies were hard. My kids were a mess. Really, I swore I was the worst parent known to man. They were awful. They were the ones that you'd take them to church and people would go, "Oh, I'm so sorry you have them in your class." They'd apologize for my children. It was terrible. And so, but we had this experience and we knew. So we got pregnant and we had a son. And I'm like, "No, wait now. You said we were having a daughter and we had a son." So he was great. We love him. And then 2 years passed and we tried again. Surely we will have a little redheaded girl. We knew it. All the way through the labor, my midwife was talking to me about this redheaded girl. We had a son. And I'm like, okay, I just can't do this anymore. I just can't
now. Yeah.
I have 6. I can't. I mean, and I would never trade Jake and Ben for anything at this point.
Yeah.
But when I was in my mid-20s and we had 6 kids, or I guess my 6th was born just before I turned 30. And we were living in 1,000 square feet and we had 1 bathroom and we had 1 car, and we just didn't know what we were doing. So, but we were loving it, except for the fact that it was numbers, so many people. And so I'm like, I'm sorry, I just can't. Second spiritual experience, undeniable. You need to do this.
Wow.
And I'm like, I had to go out. I had to drive. I had to walk. I had to pray. I had to think, okay, we're going to do it one more time. But I just wish you wouldn't make me do this. We're going to do this one more time. We got pregnant. It was the easiest pregnancy I'd had. She was born, with red hair, just so easy. And it was so good. Persistence, absolute persistence. That takes you to number 7. You'll have to hear another story for the last 2. But to me, when I look back at my 20 and 30-year-old self, I'm like, that was just grit and persistence. We knew what we were supposed to do. We didn't want to do it. We were loving the interim, but we just kept building. And it was just absolute purpose and perspective and persistence that got us through. And I don't regret any of it now, except for maybe the complaining. I was a real whiner, lots of complaining, but it's amazing when you go and you look back. Yeah. Persistence. And we're glad Aubrey made it. She had to fight tooth and nail, and she'll tell her brothers, I'm the reason you're here. So be nice to me.
And you're welcome.
There are lots of other places that we have to just grit and persistence, right? Any of us that have tried to lose weight.
Yeah.
Sheer grit and persistence.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the thing that makes persistence possible for me is purpose. To know. What about you, Jen? Have you got any persistent? Well, yes, you do, because after your accident and your mission.
Yeah. I find as I work with clients, I am amazed at the persistence of like my clients that have depression or anxiety.
That will keep showing up. That is so courageous.
And they have to be persistent in their life to manage or to overcome, those conditions. Yes. And so I really admire those. And I think also those of us who have chronic pain too. There's a persistence.
There is. And then it's a choice. It's a mindful choice to acknowledge, because you can't really not acknowledge that you hurt, but then to make a choice of how you will interpret that and what you will do with it. Mm-hmm. And there are a lot of people in the world that have chronic pain. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Much like all the other things, it just can be hard. But one of the things that really spurs me on in persistence is keep going. The best is yet to come. And we heard that from President Russell M. Nelson a few years ago. And just keep going. And the idea, just holding out that hope, because we're all about compassion, mindfulness, and hope. Holding out that hope, the best is yet to come. Whether you're sitting in depression or whether you're sitting in chronic pain or whether you're sitting in unemployment, a lot of people in unemployment right now. Mm-hmm. But the best is yet to come. And holding on to that hope gives us the strength for persistent progress, little bit at a time. Yeah.
Mhm.
3 steps forward, 2 steps back still a lot of the time, but it's still persistent progress, right?
Right.
No matter how you're doing it. Yeah. Okay, so one of the things that gets me down with the persistence is the comparison. And it
Oh,
was one of the things that we put in Monday morning inspiration this week. Let me find it. It was about your life looks all messy and her life looks all good, you know,
yeah.
but that we're different by design. And how do you guys avoid, when you're struggling through this persistence, how do you avoid succumbing to that? Well, it's not fair, or she's better than me, or I'm not doing it right. What do you do with that to keep yourself going?
I think I have to have days where I just like give in and do ice cream and Netflix and then pick it back up.
Crawl under the covers and stay there.
Well, like I sometimes I just have to be like, I can't. I just can't.
There's
And then,
nothing as decadent as ice cream in bed. It's the best. Yes.
and then I'm like, okay, I can, you know.
Yeah, do
Maybe
this.
I can.
Yeah.
But giving yourself permission to just go with it. Yeah. To be miserable for a little
Mhm.
bit,
Or just to feel it.
or just to feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not to build on it. So how do you keep from building on it so you don't make yourself truly miserable?
I've had to learn that, and I didn't understand this was a part of the comparison.
Mhm.
I had to learn that me thinking I had to do it perfect all the time or doing it or making progress all the time was a comparison of what I thought was supposed to happen.
It was a keeping up with the Joneses thing.
Yeah, or like this is how you're supposed to do it.
Right.
Well, that's
Yes.
so much how
Most
the
of us
world,
feel that way.
that's pretty much how like business teaches and like to get ahead and success, right? This is
Right.
what success looks like. And it
Yeah.
is being better than others and being on top. And yeah,
Jacine, what does success really look like?
man, success is we just had our mastermind before we're recording this
Oh my
podcast.
gosh, the
And
women
we
in our mastermind, that is the definition of success. Those women are
it is.
amazing.
It is. And so we just did our quarterly review instead of our year-end, just trying to keep up so that when we do our year-end review, it looks it looks like we want it to look. And it's, you know, knowing what our values are. And are we really in line? Are our goals in line with what our values are? And so to me, that's success is if I have goals and I'm reaching those goals and I'm in line with my values, I still have my family first. I still have God in there, or, I still have me in there, then to me, that's success. And it doesn't look like how the world puts it, like I don't have to make the most money. And I have doctors that make a lot of money. I have others that are, for them, the success is I am treating X amount of patients per day. And when they leave my office, they feel better in mind, body, and spirit every time
Yes,
they leave
that is
here.
a
That's
beautiful value.
that's success for them, they don't have to count the money. It's about the people.
Yeah.
So I think it really is very specific to us and what's really important. But if our values say that it's family and then all we're focused on is making money and we're forgetting our family, then we're not in line, and that's not success
Mm-mm.
unless our goals and our values are can meet together and join together. Then we're missing something and we don't feel successful no matter how much money we make. If
And no matter how persistent we are,
right,
because we
right.
got the ladder on the wrong wall, to quote Stephen Covey, right? We're
Yes,
working
yeah,
really hard to get up that ladder, but the ladder's on the wrong wall. And that
yep.
doesn't do any good.
Doesn't do any good at all. So yeah, so success is very, I mean, we have to look at it differently and more deeply. Yeah,
Mhm.
instead of just what the media is telling us it looks like.
Well,
Yeah.
I think we really need to go to our creator and
Mhm.
find out what success is from him to us,
Right.
because success for each individual is different. Yeah. It's all based in love, but your to-do list is going to look very different on purpose from the other people around you. Yeah.
And to get rid of the comparison, there's something that I loved in the email this morning, and it was bolded also, and it was together is better. And
Together is
so,
better.
so when we look at that instead of, and Mel Robbins talks about that in her book that we're doing for book club, finishing
Let them.
this, yeah, the
Let
let
them
them
theory. Yeah.
theory. She talks about it also that together is better. And Brene Brown, I mean, everyone
It's
talks
true.
about this. Instead of comparing, maybe we look at someone else and we look at them as an example instead of a comparison, right? It's all about our thoughts and how we choose to look at them. And, and then maybe we see this person that they've been exercising and they have the muscle tone that I want. And instead of going, oh gosh, I'm never going
I'll
to
never have that
that.
muscle tone.
Yeah, that's just, I've tried for, 50 years to look like that, and it's
Yeah.
just never going to happen. Instead of doing that, maybe I look at that woman and I'm like, wow, what a great example she is. And I wonder how close I could get. Do I need a coach? Is this possible? Can my body do this? If not, then I'm
How
going to be
close?
happy with, yeah, or what is the best that I can have with that? And how can she inspire me instead of me allowing my thoughts to take me down, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm using her example as together is better, right? I
I
get.
love that. Well, because we are all stronger and better together.
Mhm.
Especially when we recognize that we're different by design
Mhm.
and that we complement one another. I mean, look at the three of us. We're all quite different, but we complement each other really well. And the podcast wouldn't be the same if we were all the same. It would actually be kind of boring, don't you think?
Probably would.
This is better. I like the differences. Yeah. We just keep going. So much of persistence really is perspective. And I think that's what we're on to talk about next week is perspective and how to maintain perspective. But I have to show you, I learned this about perspective sometime back. Let's see if I can still do it. There it is. And that's the teaser for the next time we talk, because this is perspective right here.
I love that.
Yep. And so next week we'll talk about perspective and how it relates to these other P's of patience and of persistence. I want to say perseverance, but I guess they're real close anyway. Patience and persistence and perspective. We'll talk about perspective. Hey, I know we're just about done with book club though. With this book club book, are we finishing next week?
We're finishing this week, and everybody's coming with ideas on what book they want to do for May. So
Okay.
we don't have a May book yet.
We can announce it next Monday.
Yeah,
That'll work. We'll have a May book. Can't believe it's May already.
right.
Yeah. It's summer's coming, the cucumbers are growing, and the beans are making beans, and it's good. For those of us who live in the South. For the rest of you, well, it'll come later.
It'll come eventually.
It'll be in a little bit. But thank you. We do have a really special event coming up though in May. Speaking of May, it's on the 17th and it's on a Saturday morning. Jacene, you want to talk about that just a little bit?
Yeah, it's going to be on Joy, and it's oh, what did I cleaned my desk and I moved
Yes,
it.
you did. I was with you when you cleaned it last week,
Yes, because we were on a call together.
which is why you don't know where you put anything.
I don't. Yeah. But
It's a retreat. I can tell you that much.
it's a retreat, and it's on joy, finding joy in the small and simple, right? In
Yes,
the
and intricate parts of
everyday,
life.
yeah, in the everyday intricacies of life. And part of it, where I'm kind of going with that also is when we look for that joy, how can we find three keys to victory in that joy?
Ooh,
So,
Victory from joy. That's an interesting connection.
yeah, right?
Yeah, I want to know about that. I'm all
Yeah.
about victory.
So
Yeah, that'll be
that's where
great.
we're going.
All right. Well, we don't really have a sign up for it yet. We'll get that in the next email, and there will be a link that you guys can come and sign up, and it'll be on our regular Zoom channel. So we can get you all the information that you need for that. But it's coming just
Mhm.
about a month away because it's the 21st today. So
Mhm.
we're not quite a month out now. So we hope to see you at our retreat on Saturday the 17th at 9 o'clock Central. And we hope to catch you again next week and make your life a little better, since you will then have patience and you will have persistence, and we will talk about perspective. Y'all, thanks.
Bye,
Have
guys.
a really great week. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
I can choose to be happy, choose to be free, moment by moment. It's all up to me, 'cause what I think about, I bring about. That's the way it is, and there is no doubt. Day by day, I pave the way with every little thought I think.
Hey, thanks for joining us today in A Creator-Based Life. I hope you felt that compassion, mindfulness, and hope you came seeking today. You can find more of it at cmhcoaching.com or on linktree/cmhcoaching. Of course, any social media outlet, we're there too. Because you felt the benefit and light in this message, please invite those you care deeply about to join us. Help us to create a ripple effect across the globe of compassion, mindfulness, and hope. Then we can create a creator-based life together. Have a great week, y'all. We'll talk to you soon.
Moment by moment, it's all up to me, 'cause what I think about, I bring about. That's the way it is, and there is no doubt. Day by day, I pave the way with every little thought I think. Day by day, I pave the way with every little thought I think. Whoa.